Okay, good afternoon. Me and William are on our way to go meet the pilot of the, I'll call it an air tractor. I'm pretty sure it's a Piper. I know it's a turboprop. I'm not sure the model of it. But anyway, we're on our way to meet the pilot, yeah. So I'm going to try and have a little bit of a conversation with her. She actually is a YouTuber as well. She's also known as AgPilotChick, which kind of shocked and surprised me because AgPilotChick is someone that I follow on Instagram. I didn't know she had a YouTube channel, but probably after you watch this, you will probably go and subscribe to her YouTube channel. But Instagram, AgPilotChick. YouTube, Emily Daniel.
I'm Emily Daniel. You know me as AgPilotChick. My husband and I own our crop dusting company, Wings Aerial Applicators, and we're here with 3 of our airplanes doing some cover crop here in New Jersey.
Cool. All right. We'll walk down past the flight line, but tell us a little bit about this beast.
This is this is an air tractor 502. It has 750 horsepower, and it's a 502 because I can hold 500 gallons of liquid in the airplane. That doesn't quite translate to seed, but I'll be taking around 2,500, 2,600 pounds of seed at a time.
All right, cool.
So air tractors were manufactured in Olney, Texas, so they are US built. This one is actually a little on the older side. It's a 1993 model.
It's like the 4960 I drive. Old, but good, right?
She does what she needs to
do.
She
does what she needs to do.
Yep.
Just don't burn yours like I burned mine.
I try not to.
Yeah, we won't crash and burn either. So anyway, so this is a turboprop, I would think, right?
Yep, so this has a jet engine in it, basically, that it's built by Pratt & Whitney.
Ah, cool.
And it still has a propeller, so they call that a turboprop, or we call them turbines.
Turbine.
Yep.
Turbine. Turboprop turbines. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, so Emily's, I'm going to flip this around now because you can see my ugly face. Yeah, she's better looking than me. But anyway, I contracted through the USDA government, which I never do. I hate the government, but you know, sometimes you got to, do what you got to do. Anyway, they're going to fly these things tomorrow, starting tomorrow, and she's going to fly on, and I'll get some footage of that as we go. But first off, we're going to walk around this thing, and she's going to tell us about the seed spreader, because I know nothing about these things. I'm not buying one, I'm not flying one, but she knows what she's talking about, so here we go. All right,
so let's just start. We'll start on the wing. So most of the time when you see a crop duster, you're going to see these metal booms along the wings. So this is where the booms would actually be hung. These are our boom hangers, and you'll see the booms with all the nozzles usually this way.
Yep.
When we do cover crop or fertilizer, we actually have what we call a spreader that we put on the bottom of the airplane. And the spreader basically mounts where the bottom of the hopper would open. So
okay.
Let's do a good explanation. I would have to hop up here.
So the hopper's up in the front.
Right, so this brown part right here, this is our fiberglass hopper.
Oh.
And there's a lid right on top where you can load everything.
Okay.
And that opens up.
Dare I come up?
Come on up.
All right.
Watch your step.
Yeah, I've been up these things a few times. All right. All right. So that's the hopper.
That's the hopper.
See.
So you can see the metal at the...
Get around, yeah. Hit that button again. All right, so she's going to open it up. And there it is. Wow.
So you can see I can control
as
much open as I want. And that's about where it's going to be set for the opening tomorrow.
Okay, so it looks like about an inch and a half from the top. And your airspeed, obviously, your airspeed would dictate how much you're applying, right?
Right, so there are some spreaders that have the capability of doing this automatically.
Okay.
We've tried those. We've tried the gates that automatically calibrate themselves.
Right.
We just didn't really have good luck with the one that we used.
Okay.
So we went back to the manual method where we kind of pattern test everything ahead of time.
Yep.
And you have to keep your speed constant. And we just know basically where all of our settings are for what rate and different seeds that we're applying.
Cool.
Because each seed is different.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah. Same as on ground spreaders too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can really screw up in a big hurry.
So that's the hopper up top. Right in front of it, you can actually see that's a little shield for shade, but that's the light bar.
You're running a light bar.
There is a light bar, yeah.
Same
thing like in a tractor.
I know.
We just don't have auto steer.
You don't have auto steer. Well, that's your job, and we'll take a look at that. That's really cool. So I've seen some of these air tractors. I always thought, there it is. I don't know if you can see it under there. This stupid thing's being. Anyway, but that's the light bar.
So I'll let you step down here, but basically this is that handle that I was using.
Okay.
When we're doing, this is our dry, like, emergency dump handle, but we use it for dry work. And when we're spraying, I actually use this spray handle right here. That would be our spray handle.
There you go.
So I'll let you take a look around. That light bar is connected to this green box right there. That's our GPS.
Okay, cool.
And all the airplanes we have today are set up with just slightly different GPS systems, but they all do the same thing.
Is it like AgLeader, or what's the...
The one in this airplane and the Weatherly are AgNav.
Oh, I see.
Canada. And then in Austin's airplane, there's actually, it's called AgPilotX. It's iPad based.
Okay.
So.
Wow. And there's her camera set up for there, and the pink helmet, which you have to have. You have to have it. Oh, there, I'll lose my camera. But, yeah.
So to put it simply, so that's where everything goes. And then when, you got an airplane over there, when you are filling liquid, we're obviously not filling it in the top of the hopper, because then you just have chemical kind of
everywhere.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Yes, I would say so.
So the chemical we fill through this little, I always call it a tube, but it's a
coupler. Yeah.
Like a dry, we have a dry brake.
Oh yeah. So that's like like a dripless. It's a dripless coupler, that thing.
Exactly.
Cool.
So we have that, and then the same thing for our fuel. Our fuel's all closed system.
Oh yeah.
So we just have a nozzle that hooks onto here, a switch, and fuel goes in.
Yeah. So that's kerosene, right?
It's kerosene. We call it Jet A, but it's basically kerosene.
Yeah. Right. Coleman. So what's the life expectancy of that engine? I mean, I know every hour counts.
Every hour counts, and Ag falls under a different set of regulations than most airplanes do. So basically, certain engines have a life expectancy, or a TBO, which is your mandatory overhaul time.
Right.
On Ag planes, we're actually exempt from that. So we do inspections where we basically we call it a hot section. We basically pull the engine apart every 1,500 hours at our company, just so that we know what's going on. But this engine has over 10,000 hours on it.
Oh, yeah.
So she's old, but it's still running great. We just did a hot section, and I'm going to knock on wood, because right now it's running great.
Yeah, she's running good. Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
Now
so there is, you just kind of watch it. The turbines are a little bit different than the reciprocating engines.
Sure.
They will talk to you. So if you're paying attention and you're doing all your monitoring, you're going to notice temperatures get a little hotter or a little colder, and you're going to be able to pick up that something's happening before it does.
And you think that's better you think they talk to you more than a regular piston engine?
I do.
Wow.
Yep. If you know how to listen.
Well, that's just like agriculture. I don't listen to a radio when I work. I can't. I got to listen to the machine, and I'm deaf, if you can see the hearing aids. Too many guns and loud tractors. But I listen to the engine and the balers or the combine. The radio, I cut the wire off to the radio and the combine, because if I get out of that combine and somebody else gets in there, first thing they're going to do is turn that radio on, and then if something is happening, they're not going to know. But that's just the way I am. So,
I mean, airplanes, so we deal with a lot of airspace, so we're always on the radio. I'm always talking to somebody else.
Right. Well, that we do. Yeah.
Yeah. I do listen to music, though.
Do you really? They're really cool.
Let me take you to the front so you can see how the spreader works. So we were at the top of the hopper. We saw where that gate opens, and basically the way this works is, as we're flying along, there's ram air from just flying along that goes through these spreader vanes, and the back of the spreader, they kind of weave their way out.
Yep. And
so basically we open the hopper, the seed drops down, and then is pushed back through those spreader vanes.
Yep, sucks it right through it. So what's the width? What is your spread width?
That always depends on the product. So every product that we put out is different, different densities, different cup weights for different seeds. We've tested anywhere between like a 40-foot swath and an 80-foot swath.
Wow.
So most of the stuff we're doing right now is about a 60-foot.
Yeah. So you could follow my lines.
Yeah.
Because they're 60 foot.
I do. I follow the rows.
Yeah.
Anything that's planted in rows or in a line, I'm going to follow it.
Well, you'll see, because I had to spray the soy, where you're going to do the soybeans, I had to come back in and spray for thrips, aphids, and these damn two-spotted spider mites. So, yeah, what a pain in the ass. But anyways, you should be able to see where I went.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe they're not going to work. Well, you're going to be 100 feet up, so you'd be fine. But yeah, you'll probably be following my lines. And the corn is all planted in rows. And I use GPS, they're straight as an arrow. I don't do adaptive. So yeah, you should have a pretty good go with ours.
I appreciate that you don't use the adaptive.
I hate that. No, I'm like, what in the hell? I mean, you're going to see spots where I missed, and you're going to see spots. I have old equipment. It's like this girl here. Yeah. My corn planter's in 1992. Yep. It does not plug into the isobus. You know, it's 24 rows, and when you're way out there, I can only shut off 6 at a time. Okay. Because I'm not spending $20-some thousand, so I have individual row shutoffs.
I gotcha. I get that, because there's modifications for this that people are like, why don't you have that? And I'm sure you get it too. Why is your equipment so old? Why can't you just buy a new one?
Because I like to put some money in my pocket. That's the answer.
Yeah, I really wish I could buy a new one.
Right.
But
well, what's the cost of a new one?
This airplane is about $1.5 million brand new.
Right. So this old 1993 workhorse
is still in today's market close to $500,000.
Right. But yeah, they hold their value. They go up in value.
They do. Airplanes and farm equipment really holds its value.
Yeah. John Deere, all the other stuff just.
We just got some new John Deere, so I'm not gonna.
Did you really? Yeah.
Well,
you know.
We had to. Or we had a Kubota, and it the first day of cranberry harvest a couple years ago, it caught on fire. And burned to the ground.
I hate. Yeah, it hurt. But anyways, no wire clippers or anything on this.
This does. So on the gear leg.
Okay.
These are called storm cutters.
Okay.
And they will cut wires if you go through them.
Don't get into the wires. Wow.
Try not to.
Yeah.
You never want to on purpose, but.
No. But well, at least now you've never hit one, obviously, no?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, we're not going to have that experience.
I've come really close.
Really?
I've been in the field where I didn't see it, and I don't know how I missed it. Several times.
Right.
This airplane has gone through some wires before we owned it.
Okay.
You can see it's got battle scars on the tail, and
they're just stories.
I think it's cool.
It is cool, actually.
This was Austin's airplane before I flew it, and now once I flew it, I told him it was mine, and
the rest is history.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but yeah, so those are the wire clippers. There's nothing on the prop though. So
there's nothing on the prop. The prop acts like its own.
Yes.
And we've had situations before, and this one doesn't, but the Weatherly over there actually has a wire cutter on the center of the windshield too.
I see it.
Yep.
Okay.
This one doesn't because it's got that 3-piece windshield.
Right.
But the storm cutters and the propeller, pretty good job.
That'll do the job.
These are one of those modifications that they're expensive to put on, but worth it. They're a worth it investment.
All right. Yeah, because I worry about you flying. We don't have any real. There's one farm that you may have to work around them, but you're going to be over 100 feet tall up, right?
You'll have to show me. We'll be cover crop is anywhere between like 60 to 100 feet.
Okay.
But there are some areas here where there's high tension lines, especially by the power plant,
right,
where you can't go under the high tension lines with cover crops, so we go over them.
Right.
Which is.
You do fly under the wires though.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I said to my dad, I said, I think I've seen her go under wires. He's like, I don't want to see that. I was like,
I'll tell you a secret. A lot of the videos that I get that are like really cool, they're of Austin.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm the one that has the camera getting set up, and I'll forget it if I'm the one in the airplane.
Right.
But if I'm not flying, I'll set it up.
Yeah.
But I have. There's a bunch under here. It just depends. So the high tension lines, you really have to know them, and that's why we like a lot of the fields around here, just because we've been here before.
Right.
So there's kind of that common familiarity.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the first time I went under them, Austin's dad found a set in a field, and he said, "This is going to be your field. This is going to be the first time you're going under these power lines." And they actually followed me. They watched me do it.
Really?
And I mean, these things were. It was along the river where it was a huge, steep mountain cliff.
Right.
And I was on the bottom.
Oh.
So there were plenty of feet. There was a lot of room.
Right.
I could not have hit them if I tried.
But still, the adrenaline rush as you're going on it, because you know it's life and death. Really.
It's really scary.
Yeah.
Speaking of music, another thing I do is when I'm working around certain obstacles, I'll play.
I saw that video.
Different, like, I have a power playlist. I have a mountain playlist.
Right.
Especially if I'm working in like an area where I can get into a boxed canyon kind of situation.
Yep.
And it just, those words just kind of.
Point Mountain. You're going to be putting it on for me at Point Mountain.
Yeah.
Yep.
I looked at those. They look a little difficult.
Yeah. There's one that I'm thinking, yeah, because it does go down one side and there's a pretty steep hill. Yeah. I'm going to know when you're doing that one, or whoever's doing it, because I'm filming that one. Okay. I got to see that happen.
Let us know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty. I got guys working for me, and I just think this is the coolest thing I've ever had done on the farm. I really do. My dad, I said to him today, I said, "You never had anything flown?" He said, "Hell no, we ain't do what you do," because we've farmed here since 1925. So my great-grandparents bought the farm, and then my grandparents bought the farm off of that, and then my mom and dad, they inherited the farm, because everybody stayed. And then I guess I'm next in line, maybe. Who knows?
Cool.
So we'll be a 100-year century farm next year.
You'll be third or fourth generation?
I'm fourth, and then fourth. And then William, he's fifth.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's in there. He's asleep. That kid'll sleep like that dead. I was like, "Oh, you got to see the airplane." He's like, "Oh." And that was the end of him.
Oh, man.
So.
This one's not. This is built by, and actually, none of these are Pipers. This one's an air tractor.
Oh, it is that
is a brand.
Air tractor is a brand. Oh, okay.
Air tractor. There are like Cessnas and Pipers.
Right.
We make ag planes. We have a Piper Pawnee. That's our smallest plane in the fleet. But Air tractor is its own brand, and this one's called a Weatherly. That's its own brand as well. This is, I believe they're back in business, but they were kind of one of the smaller companies.
Right.
And I think this is also a 93.
My buddy.
Might be
My buddy Kurt, he's from England. He works on warplanes. So he works on the Corsairs. He changed the spark plugs in an F4U Corsair the one day. It took us all damn day. He says, because there's 2 plugs. I think there's 2 plugs for every piston or cylinder. And I think there's 18 on that one. So 36 cylinders. And you have to have somebody check your work. And then they're so anal, they went back over and checked again because they don't want this thing.
Yeah, you don't want to leave one out.
In 80. So is this a Pratt?
This is a Pratt & Whitney. Yep, okay. This is the R985.
R985.
And it makes 450 horsepower.
450 horses. It's still warm. You guys must have just came in.
We did, right before you showed up.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping I'd get here quicker, but I made a wrong turn and I was like, darn it.
I get so sidetracked. I went, oops, we're on the way.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it's awesome.
Very direct on the way.
So this is really a simple radial. It's not like the R4 whatever double Wasp or whatever the heck.
This is the Wasp Junior.
Wasp Junior. So 1, 2, 3. Was it 9?
9. All radials have an odd number of
cylinders.
Yeah,
5, 7, 9s, and then they just stack them.
Yeah.
I like it when they stack them. That's cool.
I don't think I'd like working on them, but.
Well, that was what Kurt's like. Oh, they're a bastard, because they just stack them up. Look at this. This is a nice air cleaner out of a John Deere tractor, right?
Might be a Napa car.
Napa, yeah, that's all right. So you're exempt from a lot of the aviation rules then.
A lot, but if it's part of like the spray equipment, we have a lot of leeway with that because they don't make FAA certified spray equipment.
All right.
And then ag itself, we're under Part 137, and there's a lot of leniency, but there's also not. Like we still, when we're at the airport, we do regular traffic patterns.
Right.
We fly. You wouldn't think that we do, but we do. We try.
Try to. Yeah. Hey, by the way, I'm here. Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah, so this one here is probably the noisiest thing.
It's pretty noisy, but this thing is cool. The Weatherly was the second ag plane I flew. We had a couple different ones, and this was one of them. And I just loved this thing.
Right.
And when I started, this was the biggest airplane we had in the fleet.
Right.
And my dream was like, I want to graduate to the Weatherly. I think this is going to be so cool.
Really?
Like, I was set on doing that the rest of my life. And then we really tried to expand the business, and we started investing in the turbines. And I look back and I'm like, I never thought I would be flying a turbine like that.
Right, no. Wow. So now I'm going to ask you a question. What do you feel about the drones?
That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts on it, and I don't know if anyone really knows what the future is.
I personally, I'm going to tell you what I think about those drones.
You tell me.
I think that this country needs to build drones in this country because the Chinese are stealing well, they're mapping us.
Yeah.
And I got a story about them mapping us. I have a Chinese FJD, it's a GPS unit that auto steer in my 7810.
First of all, I think drones can be used. I think it's like a tool in your toolkit.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just have like one type of hammer.
Mm-mm.
I mean, everything could be a hammer, but you have a bunch of different types of hammers,
Sure.
a bunch of different wrenches. I think for spraying, I think drones are just another tool in that toolkit. Because airplanes and helicopters can't cover everything, ground rigs can't cover everything.
Right.
Drones can get into some of those places that we can't,
Right.
and I will acknowledge that. That's totally
Oh,
fine.
I agree with you 100%.
But my problem I have is there's a lot of guys that are trying to jump on this early, get into the startup, and there are people that are starting companies without the right requirements, and
Right.
they're not doing any pattern testing, and they're applying off-label and well below label for liquid. They're applying almost straight chemical,
Yeah.
and without a license. And
Right.
that's the issue that I have.
Right.
Is if we have to go to all the trouble to do those things,
Right.
everyone should be held to that standard.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Well, with cover crop, I'm doing about 40 acres a row.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
eight,
Yeah.
and when we're spraying and we're on some good work, these airplanes will do over 2,000 acres a day by themselves.
Right.
Plane.
Each plane, 2,000 acres a day. So in order to make that drone business work, and I did run the numbers as well, you need at least 3, 4 preferably, but then you've got to have a crew, and it's going to take you probably to run those 4 drones, 5, possibly 6 guys, because you got to have either chemical getting mixed or seed getting put into these little canisters, and everything that you put onto it, the plane actually is cheaper.
And here's the kicker: do they fall under an agricultural exemption or not? And are you paying these guys a lot of overtime to work for the drone?
Well, they want overtime.
They want overtime.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff we do, some areas are covered under agricultural and some are not.
Right.
And even though we're doing agricultural things, sometimes we're not covered.
Right.
So it's just the crew you need. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
If you're a one-man show and you can do it all yourself,
Yep.
you can probably make some money.
Yeah. If you're doing small farms, little guys, 100 acres, so you do 80 acres in a day.
But around here, to drive to one of your farms from another farm,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to take you like an hour to drive there almost.
Well, like I said earlier, we're spread almost 50 miles from the bottom of our acreage to the top of our acreage, and that's a straight line. That's not the roads. So you could do 60 miles because they're all cow paths around here. For you, it's a whole lot easier because you just a straight shot.
Yeah.
So what's the speed of these things? I mean,
So when we're spraying, I'm between 130 and 150 miles an hour.
nice.
And with the spreader on, I'm closer to 125.
Okay.
But max, like red line in my airplane's like 150 something.
Okay. And that's between the fields, from field to here, 150 mile an hour. That's all she'll go.
But with the spreader on,
Yeah, it's dragging.
just ferrying, I'm doing 120.
Right. So it's a tough deal.
Yeah, we burn a lot more fuel doing this kind of work. But
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
awesome. I'm glad you guys are coming out to do it
yeah, we're
because,
excited. I love this type of flying.
well, I can't wait to see you go. I mean, or whoever's going to go. If it's
I think we went through the maps earlier, and I think all of us have at least one of your maps.
Cool.
So you had a lot of them,
all right.
and so you'll see us around.
Yeah. Well, that's it. So it's Wings Aerial.
Wings Aerial.
I'm going to link to your YouTube channel, and hopefully we can get you some get you some Wings Aerial. Yeah, give them a call. And
Good calls, not bad calls.
yeah, and there is no poisons being applied, no chemicals, correct?
No chemicals, and according to the NRCS, this is all non-GMO seed.
Non-GMO seed. And this is not an F-18, so it is not a government airplane.
No. If the government would like to buy it, I'll take it, but...
Well, as long as they pay you like they pay for toilet seats.
Yeah.
So this airplane's worth at least $7 million.
Yeah,
and then you can go and get yourself a couple of those.
Exactly. Yeah.
Brand new.
Exactly.
No. But anyways, this has been great. Thanks for coming out, and yeah. I'll see you in the air tomorrow. I think I'm in the right spot now. They got quite a bit to do. Fired up. I love this. I love this. When I come back in a new life, another life, I'm gonna do this. There it is, baby. It's raining. He's aligning. There he goes. Not going to catch any seed there. See that? You hear it hit? You can see it coming down. It is the coolest damn thing. And there it is. Pretty cool. Look at this come. Oh, he's heavy. Get it up. Yeah, I guess when they're loaded, what's he got? 400 gallons in that one, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How many bushels is that? I'd have to do the math on it.
It takes a full 2,000 pound bag.
How many?
Full 2,000 pound bag.
Okay, so it's 2,000 pounds. There you go. So he's like 44 bushel then, something like that. Okay, so I just went to a place called 30 Burgers here on Route 22 in White House, New Jersey. I don't know what it's gonna taste like, but I'm buying these guys lunch because they work so damn hard, and you know, I don't think granola bars is just gonna cut it. You know, so I decided I'd get them hamburgers, French fries, and they got their own drinks. I'm not gonna try to give them something that they don't want to drink, and water's probably good for an airplane pilot anyway. So I hope it brings a smile to their faces and lets them know that we do appreciate them in the agricultural community, even though the city folk hate these people.